titles. By the way, we went and gave you stats for 9 years. Number 2 in yards per play in the NFL. I don't know. I look at Jason Garrett with the Spanoses, Tom Telesco, and Justin Herbert. I'm not sure you can do better. Am I wrong? I don't think that's a bad fit at all.
I don't think it's a bad fit, but, look, the Chargers are casting a wide net. I think a lot of times when people say, oh, Chargers want to interview Jason Garrett, Chargers want to hire Jason Garrett. I don't think that's the case at all. I think they want to fact find about Jason Garrett, and then they'll decide whether he's going to be on their very short list. The fact that he's getting an interview, I think, is very encouraging for him, but I don't take interview lists as being very important at this time of year because, look, I think it's the Jaguars are attempting to interview 5 different general managers, or it might be 6. The Falcons have cast a very wide net, both in GM and now coming up in coaches. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Usually I like to see who gets the second interview. 2 years ago, the Browns interviewed a bunch of people, and then Freddie Kitchens and Kevin Stefanski got the second interviews. And it was very, very close division in the organization, and they hired Freddie Kitchens. So, I want to see if somebody gets a second interview.
So I saw Chris Mortensen. We both know him, respect him well. He said he'd never gotten more feedback about what happened during an NFL game, negative feedback, than what Doug Peterson did. The one thing I didn't like is I do believe that Jalen Hurts, I thought it would have been a nice come-from-behind win for him against a potential playoff team. I think for young quarterbacks, those instances, those opportunities are rare. I didn't like them pulling him. There's also the league integrity stuff. Joe Judge fired back. What did your sources say? What did your people say the reaction to Doug Peterson benching Jalen Hurts and a winnable game became an unwinnable game?
I haven't talked to anybody who said they thought it was a good decision. There are sometimes clearly, look, in that organization, they love Nate Sudfeld. Going back to 2017, 2018, he's always been a very trusted backup soldier. So now in a meaningless game, Doug Peterson wanted to do him a solid and give him some time. And I get that. The biggest problem is you've got 2 teams in the NFL who are on the precipice of making the playoffs. And I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, they got bad records. I don't care if they're 1-15. If, they were both on the verge of making the playoffs. And Doug Peterson put a guy in the game who hasn't played football in 105 weeks or in a football game. And I just thought it was terrible. If there is anything like an unwritten honor code among coaches in the NFL, he broke it.
Yeah. Are you, in basketball, we've seen it multiple times where LeBron James not only goes to an organization and they win, but the organization he leaves unravels. Brady just did a LeBron where New England lacks some offensive personnel. I'm almost shocked, Peter, how they went 12-4 last year and how in God's name they were a top 10 offense. Has the divorce been as... I don't even think I can get my arms quite around how good Brady has been with no OTAs in the preseason camp. The dire consequences for New England and the elevation. Tampa's now an 8-point playoff favorite. Are you a little shocked by how pro-Brady this divorce went?
Well, Colin, I think you're assuming that if Brady stayed in New England, they'd have won 11 games and found a way into the playoffs. I don't necessarily think that. The New England Patriots, it's either 1, 2, or 3, have either the worst, second, or third worst skill position group in the NFL. That's Bill Belichick's fault. Bill Belichick, the general manager. When I sat with Brady 1 year ago last night, after the wild card loss to Tennessee, he was just despondent. And he was, he